Welcome back to the Webby O'Neill channel. Thanks for joining us for today's video. I thought I'd do a post-match therapy video because it feels like a defeat for me, Reds, even though we drew. Get your thoughts and opinions in on the chat, plus your own in the comments. You've had a sleep to think about this, but how do you feel today? Any better?
No, I don't feel better. I actually feel worse, to be honest with you. Listening to Erik ten Hag's comments, I went over them again this morning. And to me, at 3-1, I think he concedes there was mistakes made from himself in the in-game management, individual mistakes. I think when he talks about the game, 3-1 up, we should have won the game. But I think he clearly can see that he made mistakes. He admitted that it's all down to him. It comes back to him and his staff, and one or two individual mistakes. So I'm absolutely gutted. I'm worse now than I was last night. I think if you look at Onana, Onana is under big pressure. We've criticised players like Maguire, and it's quite right that we criticise Onana and his performance. His mistakes are coming back again and again, and they're costing Manchester United dearly. And he wasn't the only one late on in that game what made mistakes. We had the chances late on, but it should never, ever have been like that. There was too much freestyle football for me, and the game should have been closed down, and that was down to Erik ten Hag.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with your comments there. You're looking at the mistakes from Onana, not just in last night's game, in the Champions League this season as well. I think we've conceded 14 goals out of the first 5 games, the first team ever to concede that amount of goals, and it's just not been good enough. 33 goals conceded in all competitions. You know, there's not just mistakes there from Onana, there's mistakes from individuals throughout this team this season, and it's something that needs to be rectified, because it's all right doing it against the smaller sides like the Lutons, the Brentfords, the other teams, etc. in this world, but it's not good enough when we're coming up against the top sides that we continue to make individual errors. You know, you're looking at the free kicks that were given away, the discipline from our captain, Bruno Fernandes. I'm not putting it all down to Bruno because there's other individual errors made in that night, but they shouldn't be conceding free kicks in them dangerous areas like that. Onana shouldn't be playing volleyball in his goal. He should be controlling the ball or even palming it out to the side of the net. You know, you're looking at the free kick, the wall should be set up a lot better. And I'm not just going at the goalkeeper for that. The men in the wall should be saying something. The coaches, the manager on the sideline should be highlighting it. We could see it sat at home that them 2 players in there were going to part, and that's where the ball was 9 times out of 10 looking like going. Did subs that then come on in the second half? Did that change the game? For me, the game looked like it opened up in that second half when them substitutions were made. Kobbie Manu come into his position. He played his position really well, you know, trying to get the ball out from the back, being brave on the ball. But for me, the midfielders were too far apart. It was gung-ho football when it should be a Mourinho style of play at 3-1 up in a Champions League away game. Park the bus, keep it tight, keep it compact, and do not let them start playing through your midfield and your back line. And we didn't do that, and it should start now ringing bells and alarm bells in the players' ears and the coaching staff that something needs to be corrected, and quickly.
I thought he went wrong at 3-1. I thought the in-game management, closing it down, getting more stability in that midfield and at the back, making it tighter. I think that's where it went wrong. We gave him the opportunity, and it should never have happened. The second goal was a disaster from Onana, but I do look at the play. Yes, we conceded that first goal, 2-1, bit rocky for 5 minutes, but I thought Manchester United played well. I thought the game, the tactics, everything was spot on up until 3-1. Until we didn't make the right changes, get the right tactics going, and we should have not gone gung-ho. We carried on going gung-ho, and that was the problem. Erik ten Hag wants to play attacking football. We did the right tactics last night. We did attack when it was right, counter-attacked at the right moments, but to lose, well, it feels like a loss.
Yeah.
But to be 3-1 up in a Champions League tie and then to go to 3-3 when you needed the win was criminal. I thought the players worked really hard last night. I thought they run themselves into the ground, and it was just a bit of education in football what was lacking. But I have to stress, I'm not going in, not screaming for Erik ten Hag. I'm not screaming for Onana. But Onana, time and time again this season, has made them same mistakes. He has to sort it out. He has to work on it. Eric Ten Hag has to get him in, get his confidence back, and make sure it happens. Because if not, Onana is in big trouble. Big trouble. We've had goalkeepers before in the past what have made mistakes, and it's been dealt with. This cannot continue. That is a fact. I don't like saying it, but at the end of the day, he has to improve, because this team will not be settled while they've got a goalkeeper who continually makes mistakes. And that's my overall take on the game last night. I thought it was a fantastic game of football, but poor management at times throughout the game.
For me, this team is still at its best being a counter-attacking team, and I think he needs to take a look at it, abandon his principles in how he wants to play football with this team at the moment in terms of possession and being attacking, and just stick to this counter-attacking play for the time being, because that's the only way I see us winning games on a consistent basis. And he's just got to abandon it and wait until he gets some players back, like maybe your Martinez, etc., who do fit into that style of play that he wants, and just stick to it. Because you look at Marcus Rashford this season, he's been anonymous. He's just not been good enough at all in any of the matches I've seen this season. Marcus Rashford's at his best when he's a counter-attacking player, and maybe we need to get the best out of Rashford and get the team back into the way it used to be. It's going backwards to go forwards for me here, and until he gets the right players in, I still think he needs at least 3 or 4 more additions. We've got a great youthful lineup there. You looked at the bench last night, Hannibal, Dango, you had Palestri on there, you've got Kobe Manu who come on. You know, the future's bright there. We started with 3 young attacking players. Garnacho bagged one, you know, you got Hoyland up there, you got Anthony on the right-hand side. Want his best of games, but he still put the work rate in, ran his heart out. You know, the future does look bright, but he's just got to get a grip of it here, Ten Hag, and can't let results slip away. We've seen some signs of progress in the league, but that's not against the top teams. Every time we're coming up against the top teams and we're getting in front, or we're not getting in front and we're just losing the game. So for me, big decisions need to be made. On Onana, for me, myself, I can't see him being dropped. I think Eric Ten Hag's someone who will come out and back his players. He will criticise moments like we have seen in press conferences, but Onana, he does need to stick with. I don't think we're going to see this keeper turn out like a Massimo Taibi, a Mark Bosnich. I think he will come good, and his experience in the past will put him in good stead, but he needs to sort it out, and quickly.
Well, I look at it all. I look at this Champions League campaign, what we've had, and to be honest with you, I think we've been too open, too gung-ho. I said, when you compare it to in the Premier League, we are counter-attacking there, and we've not played the same way in the Champions League, and we have been too open, and that is what's cost us, and that's down to the tactics. Going forward, like you say, counter-attacking football, that's what this team at the moment, while it's not a settled side, is suited to. So he'll have to look at it. We've got Munich to come. Doesn't matter what the score's going to be. I don't think we're going to get through. Mathematically, there is an opportunity, but realistically, it's not going to happen. But we have been too open. That's how I see it. And individual mistakes, that's what's cost us in this Champions League, and it's just not good enough. Hopefully, Ten Hag can sort it out, and he has to sort out his own tactics as well going forward in the big games.
Yeah, I've just got to be honest, we don't deserve to go through the group stages. If we do, it's by a miracle, in my opinion. And let's face it, you know, I've got to be honest with each other here. If we do progress out of this Champions League group, how far would we actually get in it anyway? You know, we've not been past the quarter-final stage since we last got to Wembley, facing Barcelona in the final. Was it back in 2010, 2011? One of them 2 years. But, you know, for me, the Europa League actually is our standard right now. Until he gets the players in that he wants and gets a steady side, you know, you're not going to really see any signs of progression from Manchester United in my eyes in the big European competition in the Champions League. So let's regroup. You know, if we do finish bottom, for me, I actually think that's a plus. So we can just concentrate on the Premier League and trying to maintain and get into that top 4 and keep in there, because that is what we'll need to attract as well some of the best players that we need to bring into this club in the summer and get rid of some of these that still clearly need to get out of the club.
Plenty of work to be done.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers for joining us today. Just thought we'd have a little bit of post-match therapy. Hopefully it's all made sense as well. A little bit of a rant maybe, I don't know, but you just get your opinions in. And let's remember, Reds, you know, things will look up. Thanks for joining us.